I'm gonna tell you something most business coaches would never admit. I'm lazy. When it comes to the day-to-day running of my business, I do as little as possible by design. And that laziness is one of the main reasons that this business works the way it does. Now, I know that sounds backwards. Everyone in this space tells you to grind, hustle harder, do more. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Most people who try to scale their Airbnb business end up working more and more until they've built themselves a job that's worse than the one that they're trying to escape in the first place. And now in this video, the final part of this series, I'm going to show you how to grow your business without growing your workload. The systems are set up once that pays forever. The £150 a month decision that replaced my entire role in the business, and why doing less the right way is actually how you scale. So let's get into this. Let me show you how most people try to grow this business and why it breaks. They get their first property working, brilliant. Bookings are coming in, there's money in the bank, so they get a second one. And then they just do twice the work. Then the third one. Now they're cleaning properties on a Saturday, answering guest messages at 11 p.m. at night, driving across town to let a maintenance person in on their lunch break. By the time they've got 3 or 4 properties, they're literally drowning. Here's what actually happened. They didn't build a business. They built a job, and honestly, a worse one than the 9 to 5 that they were actually trying to live in the first place. Because now there's no clock enough, there's no weekends, there's no holidays. And the reason this happens is simple. They never separated themselves from the operation. They are the system. Every single thing runs through them. So every new property doesn't just add profit, it adds pressure. The whole game of scaling is this. You have to take yourself away from the day-to-day so that adding a property adds money, adds profit, not stress. That's what I worked out from day one, and I'll show you guys exactly how I did it. So like I said, I'm lazy, and I knew this about myself from the very beginning. From day one, I knew 2 things. 1, I did not want to be involved in the hands-on day-to-day running of this business. It's just not me. That's not my life, right? 2, I couldn't afford to bring someone in to handle it for me. Not at the UK prices anyway. So I had a choice. Do it myself, which I knew I was going to hate and I wouldn't keep it up. Or build things in a way where I didn't have to. So I chose the second option. And here's the thing about most of the operational side of this business. You can set it up once properly and then benefit from it forever. Let me give you examples of what I actually put in place. So lock boxes on every single property so that guests let themselves in. No meeting anyone with keys, no driving across town for a simple check-in. Detailed walkthrough videos. I recorded videos showing guests exactly how to get into the property, how every appliance works, what to do when they check out, everything. So that way, they never needed to actually call me asking how the oven works or where the bins go. And then there's cameras and noise detectors. So that way, I can keep an eye on what's happening in the property without ever being there myself. If there's a party starting, I know about it. And then there's a cleaning team and a maintenance team in place before the first guest ever arrived. Every single one of those things needed effort from me. But once, set up the lockbox once, record the video once, install the cameras once, find the cleaning team just once, and then I reap the benefits on every single booking in every single property forever. That's the lazy man secret. I'm not avoiding work, I'm avoiding doing the same work over and over again. But there was still one piece left, and it was the piece that I couldn't set up once and walk away from. The actual day-to-day, talking to guests, coordinating the cleaners, handling issues the moments they actually happen. A guest is locked out, a boiler's playing up, a booking question at midnight. That needs a human being every single day. And that's the part most people think they're stuck doing themselves. I wasn't. Here's where my background gave me an advantage that most people in the UK don't even think about. I'm Nigerian and I understand that market. In Nigeria, there are highly skilled, educated, English-speaking workers, people who would do an outstanding job for whom £150 a month is serious money. That's over 300,000 naira. That's a great income out there. So while a UK operations person might cost me £2,000 to £3,000 a month, I was able to hire a highly skilled virtual assistant from Nigeria for £150 a month from day one. And here's the key thing. My virtual assistant didn't need to be physically present to do any of it. She didn't need to be on the ground to coordinate with guests, to message the cleaning team, to dispatch the maintenance team when something broke. All of that can be done remotely. It can be done online from anywhere in the world. So for £150 a month, I had someone effectively replacing my role in the day-to-day operations. And that freed me up to spend all my time and my energy on the one thing that actually grows this business: finding landlords and building relationships, signing new deals. Now, I need to be really clear about something because this is where people get it wrong. I didn't just hire someone and then disappear. The first few months, I was very active with her, very, very hands-on. And there was a good reason for that. I needed to actually understand what was involved in the operations myself. Now, I didn't just want to hand a complete newbie the keys and then let her make decisions in areas that I wasn't even competent myself yet. So we built it together. As things came up, a guest issue, a cleaning problem, a maintenance situation, we'd work out how to actually handle it and then would write it down. Every single scenario became a process. That's how we built our SOP together, bit by bit, from experience. And here's the payoff. That investment of time in those first few months is paid off in spades, because she didn't just become our operations manager, she became the person who now trains and manages every single new team member that we bring on. She was part of building that whole system. She understands every process and the reason why it exists. So when we hire someone new, she trains them, not me. I'm now completely out of recruitment, out of training, out of the day-to-day entirely, all from a decision that I made on day one and a few months of effort that keeps paying me back years later. But let me talk about SOPs properly, because this is the thing most people skip and it costs them. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure. It's just a written process for how something gets done, step by step. How the cleaning team should leave the property, word for word, what to message a guest who's running late, what to do when the heating breaks, how to handle a refund request. Most operators never write any of this down. They just explain it verbally and then hope it sticks. Guys, it doesn't stick. And without SOPs, standards are going to drift. The cleaning is done one way this week and then another way next week. Guest messages are inconsistent. And when something goes wrong, there's no process. It's just panic and a scramble. And then when you want to bring on a new team member, you're training them from scratch all over again, having to explain everything again and then hoping they get it right. SOPs fix all of that. And here's the thing, they don't need to be complicated. We didn't sit down and write a 50-page manual on day one. We built ours the smart way, scenario by scenario. As real things actually happened in the business, we just wrote it down. But here's the most important thing SOPs give you: accountability. But when your team has a clear SOP, you can hold them accountable to it. You can say, this is the standard, this is how it's done. And if it's not done this way, then we need to have a conversation and we know who is at fault. Without an SOP, you can't hold anyone accountable for anything, because the standard was never written down in the first place. It only ever existed in your head. If you want a team that performs without you having to watch over them, they need to know exactly what the standard is. And SOPs are how you set it. So let me show you what scaling looks like once all of this is actually in place. I sign a new landlord, a new property. My VA coordinates the setup, that's virtual assistant. My cleaning team takes it on. My SOPs means the new property runs on the exact same standard as every other one from day one. The channel manager and the pricing tool, they're all live within hours. The lockbox goes on. The walkthrough video gets recorded once and is done. I spent maybe a few hours on that setup. After that, the system runs it, not me. And my job, it's exactly the same as when I had one property. Find more landlords, build more relationships, sign more deals. That's the whole job. Every property I add is just pure profit, not more work. That is the difference between a job and a business. And most people in this space are running a job with just extra steps. They're exhausted, they're stuck, and they can't grow because they are the bottleneck. You don't have to build it that way. Set the systems up once, get the right person in to run the day-to-day, write down your standards, and then spend your time on the only thing that actually grows this business. That's how you scale without having to work harder. And that brings us to the end of this series. 5 parts: the model, the locations, getting landlords to say yes, setting up your systems, and now how to scale. If you've watched the whole thing, you genuinely have more than most people would have paid thousands of pounds for on a course. You have the full blueprint. The only thing left now is to go and do it. And if you want me and my team to show you exactly how we do all of this live in detail, I run a free webinar where I break down the entire system and answer your questions directly. I would say that's the best next step. The link to register for that is in the description section below. Go check it out, click on it, and let's register. Just come along, bring your questions, and let's get you started on your property journey properly. I'll see you on the next video.